Good evening. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. About 8 o'clock as I'm starting to record this video. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about storm potential for overnight and for tomorrow. There's a lot of conflicting data out there, so we're going to take a look at that and take a look at what we think is going to happen. So first we'll take a look here. This is the mid-level water vapor. Kind of just want to show you this. It's a national view, just because I don't know if you've ever heard of the ring of fire. Sometimes it's a term I think sometimes gets overused, but it doesn't get more classic than this. You can see the core of high pressure right here where all the yellow is, and you can see these storms firing up around this outer periphery of this high pressure. This is a true ring of fire where it's perking stuff up almost all the way around. On the downslope side of these, as you're coming down the northeast and eastern side of these high pressures, sometimes you can get some strong to severe thunderstorm clusters. These are kind of things that sometimes derechos are generated out of. And that's kind of the kind of thing that we're on the lookout for tonight. The Storm Prediction Center does have us through 7 a.m. They have Madison County in a marginal risk for severe weather, and then for tomorrow they have us in a slight risk for severe weather. This cluster up here in Wisconsin, it's what we're going to be keeping our eye on over the next few hours as it begins to develop. And you can already kind of see, I'll show you the model data right now, wants to run things around the outside, kind of off to our east. And when you look back here, you would kind of think, when you look at the circulation of the high pressure, you would kind of think that's what's going to happen, because that's what it looks like. However, there's a little bit of a kind of, in my view, the inside of this circulation that will begin to become more of a draw for the storms overnight. In fact, it's already starting to happen. And I think that's going to draw the storms farther south and east and give us a better chance for rain and storms in the morning. As I go back to this, you can kind of see this cluster out here coming through the northern parts of Wisconsin. You can already see, if you watch the reds right here, you can see it beginning to build to the west, and you can see more starting to occur up here, and it's also being drawn more to a point that's over here along this kind of an interior boundary here. So I think that's what we need to watch and see if that development continues to draw to the south. You can see the initialization up here too. That's pretty cool. You can see the clouds literally blowing up as the front's approaching and then streaming out away from it. So with that said, I think this is going to develop a little better. And we kind of saw that a little bit with the cluster this morning, that it didn't make it to Madison County, but it made it as close as Lafayette. And the models did a horrible job of picking up on it. They really didn't see it at all. So that's something that kind of maybe is setting the table for what we should expect in the morning. So we'll take a look at some model data. First, we'll take a look at all the other data. We'll go to pivotal weather. I've got it set on a regional view just because some of these models don't come into the local. But we'll take a look here at the Canadian. The dog is breaking in the room on me. Take a look at the Canadian, and we're looking at, as this progresses overnight, it gets really vigorous with this. I think it's oriented too much northwest to southeast, but you can see what it does as it dives down. It really dives far off to the northeast, doesn't bring anything to Madison County until even tomorrow afternoon. It begins to blow it up to our south, and that's what quite a bit of the data is doing. I'm only going to take a look at high resolution data here. So then we'll go and take a look at the HRRR. There is a new run kicking in here, but we'll go back. So we'll go back to the 22Z, and we'll take a look at what it did as well. And again, you can see this would be right now. And you can see that the model is not doing a good job. It's got cluster way up in the UP of Michigan, It's got almost nothing in Wisconsin, so it's clearly too far northeast with what's going on. And again, it's got that kind of drawn out northwest to southeast orientation, and I think it's going to develop more of a southwest to northeast as it dives in, kind of bows overnight. But I just want to show you what the data is doing, why you might see some conflicting forecasts. We'll take a look. You see, it doesn't begin to develop this until, this is about midnight. So this part it's way behind on. This part over here, it's way too far northeast on. And even with the late development, you can see as we're getting into this is 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. It's got a little finger that stretches out to Madison County, but as a whole, it's keeping it all to our northeast. And that's kind of a common theme. One model that I think has it right is the NAM 3K, the latest run of it anyway. So we'll take a look at this from weathermodels.com. This is more what I think is going to happen. And so we'll take a look, and we're getting into the overnight hours. Here's 5 o'clock in the morning, and you can see rain is beginning to move into northwestern Madison County. You can't take the times verbatim. This is just what the model has, but I think it's kind of in the right time frame, give or take an hour or two. And these clusters will tend to pick up speed, so if anything, it might get here a little faster if it does, like most of these will normally do. You get into 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It's getting most of the action out of here with that first wave. What we need to see here in Madison County is, does it maintain its intensity as it dives south? I think the solution that the NAM 3K has is correct. It's just a matter of, will this maintain its strength or not? If it holds together better than the NAM has, we could have severe. If it doesn't, these storms are super unpredictable. They're wind-driven events, and they're kind of really dependent on just what they can draw in from their environment. So sometimes they'll overproduce, and sometimes they'll just fall apart and be absolutely nothing. So I don't think that's going to happen, but it very well could. So then as the NAM 3K progresses, again, you get into the afternoon. Here we are at 5 o'clock in the evening, and it's blowing up storms right over Madison County. And again, the timing of when the front starts to press through is going to be key to our storm chances tomorrow afternoon and evening. I think it's maybe too aggressive. I think it may be more of a popcorn type thing, like these cells that are over here, versus a solid line. But again, if it comes together at exactly the right time, this could happen. So we'll be watching tomorrow afternoon, I'd say in the 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. time frame for some possible severe weather. Just a matter of, will it blow up here or will it blow up to our south? So with that, that's really all the time I'm going to take on this. Again, I think we need to be watching in the morning. We need to be watching probably the 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. time frame, and then in the afternoon we need to be watching 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. time frame. Behind that, we'll be getting some more refreshing air in. A lot of the model data has us only being in the mid to upper 70s this weekend. If you've seen our 7-day forecast, I stayed warmer than that. I'm not sure that this high pressure here is going to back off enough to let that cool of air come in, but it's possible we may have some highs this weekend in the 70s. Either way you slice it, even if we're upper 70s, lower 80s, that's still kind of like early to mid-September type weather. So, and it kind of a taste of early meteorological fall. And watching some things in the Bering Sea, I think we're going to have some heat farther into this month. And then kind of watching what's starting to develop now, it may lead to some maybe a more significant cool down toward the end of August. So that's all still a long way out. In the meantime, we need to stay weather aware in the pre-dawn hours and then tomorrow afternoon. And as always, we'll update you if anything develops, no matter what time it is. So with that said, this is Michael Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Thank you very much.